Hello, everyone. This piece is concerning. So, this article in Politico talks about a subtle, at present, mood shift in Europe when it comes to the war in Ukraine. And this is one of the things that a lot of us analyzing and covering the war in Ukraine have been warning about. So, what is this about? While Biden was in the White House, the European allies supported his stance of helping Ukraine no matter what for as long as it takes. Now, during Trump administration, they're starting to adopt Trump's stance of let's just end this thing no matter what the cost. That is very bad. So, several issues with that. First of all, once again, Europe, you cannot let the election results in the US tell you how to run your business. Second, I once again encourage everyone to pull up a map and look at it. Yes, the US can afford the isolationist stance when it comes to the war in Ukraine. They can afford to say, oh, just end it. It doesn't matter. Because they're across the fucking ocean from it. You are not. You do not have that luxury. A Dutch official warned just a couple of days ago that Russia could be in position to declare an all-out war to Europe in 5 years. Is that what you want? And the only way to not find out is to not let Russia win in Ukraine. So this is very alarming. This is bad. And there is this. And Zelensky is right. And his statement that Russia is not preparing for peace is substantiated by historic data and by current events. Because look at it. All these talks about peace, all this talks about negotiation, you would think there could be some gesture of goodwill. No. Russia strikes Kyiv, Ukraine's historic capital, immediately after Trump declares some kind of progress on peace talks. Does that look like somebody wants peace to you? And, if you're going to say you're making progress, you're going to have to show something specific. Progress should mean improvement in the situation. Where is the improvement? Trump hangs up the phone with Putin. Putin goes, strikes Ukrainian capital. How is that progress? People die. How is that progress? All of the major cities in Ukraine, including Zaporizhia, where my parents live, are being bombed daily. That has been the case for the last 6 months. How is that progress? So this is what we know about the recent attacks. At least one person was killed and 4 were injured in Kyiv. After that ballistic missile attack, following the progress declaration by Trump. Ukrainian Air Force continues to work tirelessly to shoot down whatever the hell they can when Russia dispatches a bunch of drones, ballistic missiles, glide bombs, and so on and so forth. And so far what we know is there's been damage to apartment buildings, offices, civilian infrastructure, and so on and so forth. So Russia basically continues terrorizing Ukraine. Tell me again what progress has been made. Now, this is in a Ukrainian source, Kyiv Independent. So what is this all about? Like so many countries during the COVID pandemic, Russia had a separate committee to address economic issues in the country during the pandemic. Okay? So now it is reforming the committee to address the economic issues, except there is a problem. So COVID, as we all know, was an illness. It hit everybody. Folks had to scramble to figure out what to do about it. So we know this. In this particular case, the economic crisis in Russia is the result of Russia's own stupidity. The only smart thing the committee can do is meet up for like 5 minutes and then come out and hand over the recommendation to Putin saying, stop the fucking war, you fucking moron. That's what's hurting us most. Because yes, the war in Ukraine right now is the source of all the sanctions, is the source of the deficit, it's the source of public discontent. Basically, that is the major reason responsible for the economic crisis in Russia. And the only order you can give to end it is the order to withdraw all troops from Ukraine. There, fixed it for you. So this was coming. We knew that one of the potential uses for the Kursk operation by Ukrainian troops was to gain some territory in Russia and use it as a bargaining chip. I don't know if it's going to work. So, on one hand, just if you look at it, the territory controlled by Ukrainians in the Kursk region of Russia is tiny. Tiny little dot. Compared to the huge territory controlled by Russians in Ukraine, 20% of Ukrainian territory. So, there is that. On the other hand, Russia is notoriously territorial, and Russia is very proud of its ability to kick anybody's ass, according to Russia. So, the fact that there is that little splinter sitting in their side in the form of Ukrainian troops they have been unable to dislodge from the Kursk region for months now, that has to be bothering them. So right now, it's unclear how it can be used, and obviously they're not going to give the entire, control territory of Ukraine for that tiny little bit of Kursk region. So I don't know how that's going to work. What it does give Ukrainians, again, is the psychological impact on the Russian population, and the fact that they're actually treating Russians much better than Russians treated Ukrainians in the invaded territories. So we'll have to see how this develops. This is definitely a developing story. We have two stories of two people being saved. One is American Mark Fogel, who was arrested in Russia. He's a history teacher. So he has been released and returned to the U.S. No doubt Trump is going to take credit for that. Whatever. Doesn't surprise me. So we saved one. Don't forget there's other American and other foreign nationals currently in Russian custody on trumped-up charges. And then there is the story of this soldier on BBC who was sent to Kent, England, to undergo medical treatment and join his family. So the soldier himself and his family now live in the UK. They are basically among many, many, many Ukrainian refugees, millions of them, living abroad because there is no safe way to return home. So that's two saved. Just two. And look how much it took. What's going to happen to the rest?